This is all there is. All there is this. This is energy. This is wholeness. This is already complete. Everything is fulfilled. There's nothing that needs to change or be done. It's simply energy in free flow. Energy is everything. Wholeness is everything. So everything is energy, everything is wholeness, oneness, whatever. And energy, I like to call it energy because energy is an impersonal thing. Energy is simply being everything. Everything that can be imagined. The sky, the sound of this voice, the warmth of the room, the thought, the feeling, the cough. Energy is simply everything that is known and not known. And energy is completely free. It's utterly free. It can be anything. It can move faster than the sound of light. It can move as slowly as you can imagine. It can stop. It can move. It can be anything. It can be nothing. It is nothing. Energy is no thing appearing as this. So no thing is everything. And that energy, being free, can also be limited. Because it's free, it can be limited. It can be anything. So it can arise as an apparent contraction of energy. And it does arise in human physiology as an apparently contracted energy. There's no one in the body, but energy contracts in the body. And there's a feeling of suddenly of separation in that freedom. There's suddenly a feeling of separation and identity. At a very early age, the child is completely boundless, has no sense of herself. And then suddenly that energy contracts and the child has a sense of itself. It's called self-consciousness. Consciousness of the self, of the I, of the me. And out of that contraction arises what I call the story of me. And the story of me, to me, seems very real. And the child grows into an adult, and the me and the story of me seems more and more real. And everything that happens to that person, to that me, seems real also. So the sense of free will, the sense of choice, the sense of a journey to somewhere that has meaning and purpose seems to the me to be very real. And that reality that me lives in is the reality of subject and object. It's a reality in which there is a subject, me, and there are objects. Everything outside is an object. So me is something, and everything outside it is also another something. Lots of somethings. But they're out there and they're separate from me. And so what arises for me in that reality is a feeling of dissatisfaction. It's often hidden, but there's a feeling of being separate brings a feeling of dissatisfaction. And so some me's feel very sensitively about that, and so they look for an answer. Why am I dissatisfied? Why is this not fulfilling? And so they seek fulfillment in whatever way they can. But of course the other thing about me is it's sure that it has to do it itself. I have free will and choice. I can get a job, or I can marry someone, or I seem to be able to choose to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. So I can also choose to become fulfilled and overcome this sense of dissatisfaction, this sense of being apart from everything. So I need to learn how to become fulfilled. So what I will do is I will go to a teacher. I might become a Christian or a Buddhist, or I might try and find somebody who's a teacher of enlightenment or a teacher of fulfillment. And I can learn how to become fulfilled. Because that whole energy is living in a subject-object world. So what the seeker is looking for is an object called fulfillment. is a something called enlightenment or liberation. And so they go to a teacher and they then think they can learn how to make themselves better in a certain way, or learn how to be more peace, or learn how to self-inquire, or learn some system which will bring them the fulfillment they want, will bring them this thing they want to have for themselves. And they go through all those experiences, and they might even experience peace sometimes, detachment sometimes, purification, feeling better about themselves. But all of those things come and go. They are experiences that they have. And they seem very real, but they only come and go. Everything comes and goes. It's like me is living around in a circle, going around in a train, experiencing different things. Everything is another experience, then this is another experience, and then that's another experience. In a story where nothing lasts, everything is transient. And somewhere, however hard me tries to find this thing it thinks it wants, it never can find it. Because me lives in an artificial reality, in a subject-object reality, in a dualistic reality, in which they seek for something that they can never find. Because me can only exist in a finite world. It's an artificial construct, and so it can only live in an artificial reality, in a finite reality in time. And it's what it's longing for and what it's looking for is the infinite, which it can never find. You can't grasp the infinite, because the infinite is already everything. So all seeking for enlightenment, for liberation, or whatever you like, for woman, is like trying to catch the air with the butterfly net. It's utterly, completely futile. But it's wonderfully futile. What's beautiful about it is, what's wonderful about it, it's utterly futile, and the seeker will rush around trying to get somewhere, and somewhere it never ever happens, because what is longed for is beyond the self. What is longed for is beyond me. Me can never have this. This meeting tonight, as far as the self or the individual is concerned, this meeting tonight is completely and utterly useless. There's nothing here for the individual, for the individual at all. There's nothing. The seeker is starved here totally. In fact, strangely enough, the seeker isn't even recognised. It's recognised in a way, it's seen, it's acknowledged that seeking seems to be real to the seeker. But there's nothing here that sees a me. There's nothing here that sees itself. There aren't any selves here. There aren't any eyes here. There aren't any individuals here. They're just bodies. This is energy being bodies. This is energy being room. There aren't any individuals in it. That dream of individuality is illusory. It's an illusion because the dreamer, the seeker, lives in an artificial, illusory reality where everything is only real. So when a seeker looks at a tree, it thinks it's looking at a real tree, a tree that is real, or the sky, or another person. It never sees the tree or the sky or the other person in the natural way that they unfold. Because what it can't see is that the tree or the sky or another person is both real and unreal. It only sees the real. It only sees itself as real. So it lives in an artificial, illusory reality. And that's what we're going to illuminate tonight together. We're going to share together the illumination that the mere world, the mere reality is artificial. And we can do that by speaking together, by sharing together in words. And that's okay, but this is not something that can be understood understood. So, clarity is not liberation. Being clear about this is not liberation. Being clear about what we're talking about is simply another thing that me can have. But me can't have liberation, because for a liberation to become apparent, me needs to die. This is about losing something, not gaining anything. This is about a loss. The other thing is that the microphones aren't working tonight, so if you ask a question, you'll have to speak quite loudly.